Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. Well, the last time we were in the kitchen together, I shared a recipe with you for a quick bread, a cheddar cheese garlic quick bread. It was a savory bread that doesn't require a rise time or working with yeast, sourdough, anything like that. It uses baking powder. And then after it's mixed up, it can go right into the loaf pan and into the oven. Now it takes about 45 minutes to bake it and then let it set for a while and cool, but I don't think you'll be disappointed. And if you made it, I hope you enjoyed it. Now this week I've been thinking of other ways that would be really good, and I think that adding jalapeno peppers or whatever kind of peppers are your favorite would be delicious with it. Bumping up your cheese maybe to a pepper jack, or Blade likes habanero, and so he has a habanero cheese that he really likes. I don't know if I would like that, but all kinds of options. You could add pepperonis or different add-ins, and it would be really delicious and a real good treat to have. So today I thought that I would bring a recipe to you for another quick bread, and this one is a sweeter quick bread. However, it's not overly sweet, it's not over the top, it's not gooey and all that. You can make it gooey by adding other things to it, but this is just a quick, simple apple cinnamon quick bread that uses applesauce, and I think that it would be something that you might enjoy. It's really simple to put together, just like the other recipe. You put all the ingredients together and then get it poured into your loaf pan and get it baking. So we're going to start out today by mixing our wet ingredients together. And the first thing we need is a third of a cup of oil, or you can use melted butter. Today I'm using sunflower oil. It's actually a sunflower coconut combination oil, and you need 1/3 cup of that. Pardon me. The next thing you need is 3/4 of a cup of applesauce. Your favorite applesauce will do just fine. This is my homemade applesauce. It's darker because I let it cook all night long in the crock pot, and so it darkened, but it's really, really good. The next thing that I'm going to add to this is, what did I do with them? Oh, my eggs. 2 large beaten eggs. Now the last time when I made the quick bread, I spilled the eggs 3 times. So today I put it in a little bit bigger container to prevent me from spilling that. And until I get it in the bowl, I'm not going to be 100% convinced that I won't spill. So that was 2 large eggs that you want to beat. These are from my hens. And then to this, these are the wet ingredients, but I'm going to go ahead and put 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, not packed, just 3/4 of a cup measured. And I'm going to get that mixed up. Smells good. Okay, now that I have this good and incorporated, I'm going to set it aside and put together my dry ingredients. So in this little bowl I have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. To it I am going to add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. Get all that out of there. Left some behind. Don't want to waste any of that. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to give that a careful toss. This is not going to be an a really spicy. It's just going to be a light, nice apple cinnamon bread. Okay, I've got that all incorporated together, and now I'm just going to add it to my wet ingredients. Now, you can add ingredients to this bread. You could add little pieces of apple, whether it was little dices or shreds. You don't want to overdo it, but you could add some apple. You could add some raisin. You could add walnuts or pecans. That would all be delicious. I'm making this for family members that don't like raisins, so I won't put any raisins in it. And Cheyenne prefers her breads like this without nuts, and so I want them to be able to eat it or want to eat it. And so for them, since I'm making it for them, I am going to leave the nuts out of it. But if I was you guys, I would try it because I think it would be delicious. And it comes together really simple. This is what the batter looks like. You can see it's a little bit of a thinner batter. If you made the cheese bread or you watched me make the cheese bread, you can see that this is just a little bit thinner, looser, but it's just fine. Now I have Okay, so now that I've got the batter all together, I'm just going to use this 9-inch pan that I have sprayed with baking spray, and you are more than welcome to grease it and flour it if you want to, but I'm just going to use that and pour it up into the pan. I had to hold this bowl a certain way. My thumbs just do not let me hold the bowls as well as I used to, and I have a fear that I'm gonna drop them. We'll get this spread out into the pan and get all the good stuff off the spatula. Don't want to waste that. And then we'll put this in a 350-degree oven for 45 to 50 minutes. Now every oven is different. Your oven might cook it a little bit faster, it might cook it a little bit slower. So start watching about the 40-minute mark. And as always, when you insert a toothpick in the middle, it comes out clean, you know that your bread is ready. Then we will go ahead and put a little bit of butter and sugar, cinnamon on the top of it, just to give it a little bit of a crunch. Not much, just a little bit sweet. Now, you could also make a glaze or a cream cheese frosting to use it when you slice it. Use it as a little bit of a smear for it, and it would be delicious that way. So I'm gonna put this in the oven, and when it's done, we'll come back and we'll see what kind of creation we've got. Okay, guys, the bread is done. I've let it rest for a little while. It's cooling off, but while it's cooling, I want to go ahead and brush this with melted butter, and then I'm going to sprinkle it with cinnamon and sugar. I have 2 tablespoons of melted butter, and I am just going to brush that on this this quick bread. And of course it's hot and the butter is going to run. I'm also going to put it on the sides.
The White House is seeking $10 billion from Congress to provide aid to Ukraine. The administration is not willing to sanction Russian banks processing energy transactions or ban Russian
and you use as much of the butter as you want. I don't think it's going to take all of the butter today. It is brushed on here fairly well, and I think I'm going to call that good. Set that aside. And now in this bowl I have about 3 tablespoons of sugar, white sugar, granulated sugar, and I have a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now you can make it a little bit more a little bit stronger if you want to by adding more cinnamon. It is up to you. And you don't have to do this step at all if you don't want to, if you don't want any topping on it at all. It's not, I can tell by looking at it, it's not going to take all of this, but you just sprinkle it on there. Now, it's going to get soaked in with that butter. So you may come back a couple of times and sprinkle it on there. You could leave your little bread in the pan and sprinkle it on that way if you so choose, but I kind of want to get maybe the sides just a little bit. Now keep in mind that this bread is really warm, and it's just going to soak this up, and I'll continue to do that. And that looks about good for me. So you're not going to use all of your cinnamon and sugar either, depending on how much cinnamon and sugar that you want on it. Apple cinnamon quick bread. Not overly sweet. It's not really something that I would consider a dessert bread. Just something light and nice to end the evening, or a light breakfast in the morning. You could, however, on top of this cinnamon and sugar layer here, you could make a nice little drizzle with powdered sugar and drizzle it on there. You could also have a nice cream cheese, a sweetened cream cheese to smear on the slices of it, and it would dress it up some. Or creamed honey, that would be delicious too. So I hope you guys enjoyed spending time with me today in the kitchen. Just trying to put some recipes out there that would give you an option when you're looking for a quick bread. We've made savory, and now we've made a little bit of sweet. Until next time, guys, I'm Josie. I love you. I really do. We're gone.